How you doing? Today I want to talk about breaking free from the habit of instant gratification, right? This is in terms of trying to get you away from thinking about alcohol or cigarettes or whatever else it is that you're trying to break from that perspective. I want you to think about it in terms of the overall or the underlying mindset that's causing a lot of these habits to come about in the first place. For me, I think we've been conditioned these days, especially to think along the lines of instant gratification, or we've been conditioned into the mindset of instant gratification. I remember when I was growing up, with my father, my grandparents, my granddad was a fireman in London. He was a fireman during the Blitz. My father's father was a copper in Ireland, a Garda Síochána. He was in the Phoenix Park in Dublin. And these guys were, I suppose you call them salt of the earth type blokes, same as my grandparents. I mean, they both worked, and they both had big families and looked after those families. And it seems to me that it's a completely different world that we're living in now. And a lot of it's to do with the media. I think a large part of it's to do with the media. And not just social media, but TV, and this has been happening for a long, long time. So I just think that these days, that instant gratification mentality is everywhere. We all want to have instant success. We don't want to do the work to get to success. We want instant cures. We don't want to do the work to either prevent something happening or work to alleviate something. We want to have instant muscles. Let's say, for instance, you want to be able to go into the gym and just work. As I say, this is a mentality. And I just think these days that kind of mentality is everywhere. We want instant success. We don't want to put the work into doing the things that are necessary to get success. I remember watching a video from a guy called Simon Sinek, and he was talking about kids who want to be able to start working in a company and within a year being the CEO of that company, or being the one of the top jobs in the company. They don't want to put in the effort that it's going to take to get to the top. And it's the same thing with medicine. People want a pill for everything. They want an instant cure. Same with promoting yourself. Is people want instant promotion. They want instant love. They want instant satiation in all its forms, right? And as I said, I think this is fed to us every day by the media, by news outlets, by TV programs, by Facebook, by YouTube, by Instagram, all of these areas. I've spoken about this before, where if you look into YouTube now, or if you look on Facebook, the algorithm is as such that it will keep giving you exactly what you are looking for. So if you start typing in a certain search term on YouTube, for instance, you'll find that it'll keep handing you the same stuff, the same content over and over again. So it forces you into a way of thinking which you believe that everybody is thinking the same, that this is the way everyone thinks. It's just mental. One of my favorite pastimes is mountain climbing. I love getting up to the top of a mountain. There's nothing better than going out for a full day and spending 5 or 6 or 7 hours just climbing up to get to the top of a mountain, right? And it's, of course, getting to the top is a buzz, but it wouldn't be anywhere near of a buzz for me if I hadn't done the actual climbing. If I'd have got a cable car up there, and yeah, of course, the view, having a look at the view from the top of a mountain is fantastic, but actually working your way up that ascent, standing at the bottom of a mountain before you even start out the journey and looking up at where you've got to go, and then making the ascent, and then once you're up there, enjoying the fruits of your labor, enjoying that fact that you've got where you are. some people see it as pointless. When I go out walking here, for instance, I walk around in a circle. Park my car somewhere, I go walking and I come back and I walk to exactly the same spot. Now, I'm doing videos and I'm thinking and I'm doing all that kind of stuff. But essentially, that walk is useless in and of itself. It doesn't produce anything except the videos, right? But I would do the walk anyway because it's a part of my nature to get out there and to do that. But it's the same thing with walking up a mountain. But the point is about walking up a mountain, for me, it's not just the ascent or the descent. The descent coming back to where you started from is just as important as the ascent. But I mean, for a start, you can't get anywhere without the descent, right? If you don't come back down, you're stuck up there, right? But that's beside the point. When you get back down the mountain from climbing it and you look back up, you've got a completely different perspective from when you started out with. It's the same view, it's the same mountain, but it's a different mountain for you because you've already been up it and you know what it's, all those steps that you use to climb up it, you know what it's like. And it changes your relationship with that mountain to a certain degree. And it's with anything, when I first go on any walk, I never get, it's a different walk to when I go on the same walk for the 50th time or for the 100th time. If I go on the same walk over and over and over again, it becomes a meditation because I know the walk so well that I can take my steps after step after step, and I know how long it's going to take me, and I don't have to focus on my surroundings. I can focus on my thinking. I can get inside myself and just relax and completely get absorbed in the moment. Whereas if I'm taking it for the first time, or if I haven't been there for a while and something has changed, then I have to focus on where I'm going, what turn I'm going to take, where I am on the journey, how long it's going to take me to finish it, and all that kind of stuff. So, but if you don't go out and do the mountain, if you don't walk up the mountain, you never get that experience. So you can't know what it's like. And it's the same thing with life. It's the same thing with our ambitions, our goals in life. If you want instant gratification, how can you think long term about anything? And the problem is that the more you seek out instant gratification, the more you try and narrow your focus to the moment and to getting the buzz in the moment, the less capable you are of thinking about things in the long term. And this is a problem. I think this is one of the problems of addiction, is people get so focused on having that instant gratification buzz, whether that buzz comes from a drug, alcohol, cocaine, or angel dust or something like that, or it comes from watching too much TV, or a slot machine, a gambling machine, where you're just, in that moment, you're focused on pressing that button as many times as you can. Gambling is not about, that machine gambling is not about winning or losing. It's about being in that instant. It's about getting lost in that moment and pressing the button over and over and over again and just forgetting about your surroundings, So that quick fix feeling that you might have might satiate you in the moment, but it does absolutely nothing to feed your emotions or yourself in the long term. It's very destructive for your long term, like I said. It kills who you are because you need to get bigger and bigger inputs. With your alcohol, you need to drink more and more. You need to take more and more of a certain drug. You need to spend more and more time with TV, or sex addiction is the same thing. You never get the same buzz out of the same thing. You need more and more input in order to get the same output, if you like. So economists, there's a theory in economics, in economics, called short-termism, and you can see this everywhere. It's not just affecting economics, but it's affecting governments, it's affecting institutions of all kinds. When you get people who, let's say for instance that you've got your government officials who are elected for 4 years, and they can't see beyond that 4 years. They see about the next election and how they're going to be affected. I mean, in the States, and I think it's the same probably in the UK, and the same here in Spain, you've got the presidential elections, which are every 4 years, but then After 2 years, you've got the house elections, or so you've got elections basically every 2 years. So they're thinking on this 2-year level all the time. They don't care about the long term. They don't care about how much their policies are going to hurt. They might care themselves, but institutionally, because they're so institutionalized, they can't think about that, because they know that if they think on that level, that in order to think long term, you've got to think short term pain. And people are not putting up with short term pain. They don't want to put up with that anymore. So, it's just one of those horrible, vicious cycles that people get into. They're sort of, they're oblivious to the effects. And some people are uncaring about the effects. Let's put it like that. I think even on a personal level, some people they don't care about what's happening in the long term, because they're not there at the moment, but you will get there. That's the biggest problem with an individual thing. If you're looking for quick wins instead of real long-term solutions, you're always going to be stuck in that short-termism. With something such as alcohol, which is physically destructive, or gambling, which is financially destructive, which I suppose there's a physical component to that. But when you've got something that is destroying you day after day in a very insipid way, in the long term, you're eventually going to get to that person who's going to go through that consequences. So you have to think about that. Think about things from the perspective of instant gratification. That's the habit that you have to deal with. It's not the alcohol, it's not the cigarettes, it's not the weight loss, it's not the gambling. They're just the means to an end. You have to think about it in terms of, I have got to personally think about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in a year's time, where do I want to be in a year's time, or 5 years' time, or 10 years' time, and think about that person that you are going to become, and whether or not they're going to suffer the consequences of what you're doing now in the moment. Because, as I say, alcohol is just a means to an end. The real destruction is in the mindset. Now, as I said before, all of these videos are sponsored by Habit V2. If you're looking for help to stop drinking alcohol, to get away from smoking, or there's a lot of different habits that we deal with over there, we've got a ton of videos, daily videos. We go through our own preparation stages, transition, moving you from one stage to another, and the transformation stage. We've got a great group of people in our community who are there every day on the forum to help you with anything that you need, and I'm there every day to help you with any questions that you've got. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, click on that link, and I'll see you in the next video. So take care of yourself. Remember, get rid of the instant gratification mindset. It's not about if you focus on the alcohol, if you focus on the cigarettes, if you focus on the thing that is the tool, then you're always going to be in that sort of loop. So, all right, take care of yourself. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.